Hey everyone, let's travel back in time to West Africa. A really strong kingdom grew there called Dahomey. For hundreds of years, the Dahomey people did really well. They were famous for their tough army, their cool culture, and their strong rulers. Dahomey was a big deal, and its influence spread far and wide. It was located in what we now call Benin. Dahomey's story is complicated. It's a story about power, rituals, and traditions that lasted a long time. Let's explore the amazing world of the Dahomey Kingdom. Dahomey became super powerful in the 1600s. This West African kingdom, located in what is now modern-day Benin, was known for its military prowess and strategic acumen. The rulers of Dahomey were ambitious and sought to expand their territory and influence. They were excellent fighters and planners. The Dahomey warriors were not just brave, but also highly trained and organized. Their military strategies were advanced for their time, allowing them to outmaneuver and overpower their enemies. Dahomey's army was known for being fierce and disciplined. The soldiers underwent rigorous training and were instilled with a strong sense of loyalty and duty to their kingdom. This discipline made them a formidable force in the region. Get this! They had all-female warrior units called the Ahosi regiments. These women warriors, also known as the Dahomey Amazons, were unique and highly respected. These women, known as the Dahomey Amazons, were incredibly brave and skilled fighters. They were trained in the same rigorous manner as their male counterparts and were known for their fearlessness in battle. They helped Dahomey take over more land. The Amazons played a crucial role in the kingdom's expansion, leading many successful campaigns and securing new territories for Dahomey. Sadly, Dahomey's power was also tied to the slave trade. The kingdom's involvement in the transatlantic slave trade brought them wealth, but at a great human cost. They became really involved in this awful part of history. Dahomey captured and sold thousands of people, contributing significantly to the slave trade that devastated many African communities. Dahomey attacked nearby kingdoms and captured people to sell as slaves. These raids were brutal and caused immense suffering for those who were captured and their families. This made them rich, but it was terrible for the people who were captured. The wealth accumulated from the slave trade funded the kingdom's expansion and military, but it left a dark legacy of pain and loss. The Dahomey people had a rich and fascinating culture that has intrigued historians and anthropologists for years. Their traditions and beliefs were deeply rooted in the reverence for their ancestors. They believed in ancestor worship, a practice that was central to their way of life. This belief system was not just a set of rituals, but a profound way of connecting with their past. They thought the spirits of their ancestors were very powerful and could influence the living. These spirits were considered guardians and guides, providing wisdom and protection. To honor them, they had big yearly ceremonies that were grand and elaborate. These events were not just religious observances, but also social gatherings that reinforced community bonds. These ceremonies were full of music, dancing, and rituals. The rhythmic beats of drums, the vibrant dances, and the chants created an atmosphere of spiritual connection and celebration. One of the most disturbing parts of these ceremonies was human sacrifice. This practice, though horrifying to modern sensibilities, was seen as a necessary offering to appease the ancestors. The Dahomey believed that sacrificing people, usually prisoners of war or criminals, would please their ancestors and ensure their favor. This was a way to demonstrate their devotion and seek blessings. These sacrifices were done in public, witnessed by the community. It was a powerful display meant to reinforce the authority of the leaders and the importance of their spiritual beliefs. It showed everyone how powerful the king was and how important their religion was to them. The king's role was not just political, but also deeply spiritual, embodying the connection between the people and their ancestors. It's important to understand why the Dahomey did what they did. Their actions and rituals were deeply rooted in their spiritual beliefs and cultural practices, which were passed down through generations. They didn't think of death the way we do. For the Dahomey, death was not an end but a transition. It was a passage to another realm where the spirits of the ancestors resided. They believed it was just moving on to the afterlife, where ancestors could still affect the living. The ancestors were considered guardians and guides, influencing daily life and major decisions. Human sacrifice, although horrible to us, was seen as a way to show deep respect to the ancestors. It was believed that these sacrifices ensured the favor and protection of the ancestors. maintaining harmony and balance in the community. They thought it made the connection between the living and the dead stronger. The king was all-powerful. He was not just a political leader, but also a spiritual intermediary. They believed he spoke to the ancestors for the people. The king's role was to ensure the well-being of the kingdom by maintaining a strong connection with the spiritual world. The yearly ceremonies showed everyone how powerful the king was and how strong the kingdom was. These grand events were not just displays of power, but also reaffirmations of the cultural and spiritual beliefs that held the society together. In the 1400s, Europeans came to West Africa. This changed everything for Dahomey. European traders wanted slaves. Dahomey saw a way to get richer and stronger. They got really involved in the transatlantic slave trade. This trade changed Dahomey a lot. It made them wealthy, but it also caused fighting and problems. The need for more slaves led to more wars and raids. Many people were captured and sold as slaves, which broke up families and communities. The Dahomey kingdom ended in the late 1800s when the French took over the area. But Dahomey isn't forgotten. In Benin today, people still share the stories and traditions of Dahomey. The Dahomey Amazons especially are seen as symbols of strong women. Their story reminds us how strong and tough people can be. Dahomey's history is complicated and sometimes upsetting, but it's important for understanding West Africa's history and how the slave trade changed things forever. Like and subscribe Emgotv360 for more stories.